Get your popcorn out, folks, because Jeff Zucker at CNN has been fired this week. Of course, the cover story is that he had a consensual sexual relationship, true, with a colleague, true, but after seeing the Chris Cuomo sex scandal, the Don Lemon sex scandal, and the Jeffery Toobin masturbation incident in a live Zoom meeting, no thinking person will believe that. Of course, CNN folks are covering for Zucker, especially Brian Stelter, who still isn't reporting on CNN from his media criticism chair. And Jake Tapper and he did their own explanation why. Here's the video.
Here at CNN today, this morning CNN President Jeff Zucker announced his resignation effective immediately, citing an undisclosed consensual relationship with a close colleague. Let's bring in CNN Chief Media Correspondent Brian Stelter. So, Brian, Jeff Zucker said that his departure stems from an independent investigation into former CNN anchor Chris Cuomo, an investigation into how Chris tried to help his brother, disgraced then New York Governor Andrew Cuomo. Can you explain that to our viewers? Because I think a lot of people don't understand why that would lead to this.
Right. Zucker's undoing stems from the Cuomo brothers scandal because, as we all remember, Zucker defended Chris Cuomo and kept him on the air at 9 p.m. during the then governor's scandal. Eventually, Zucker fired Cuomo in early December after further revelations about how the brothers worked together. But before taking action, CNN retained a law firm called Cravath. Cravath was brought in to review the Cuomo matter. Cravath had a lot to look into, including an allegation of sexual misconduct against Chris Cuomo from a former junior colleague. Cuomo denied that allegation. But Cravath has been doing interviews, looking into Cuomo, looking for any issues. That's actually been going on as recently as last week. And Zucker was brought in last week for questioning as a result of that probe. So we have a domino effect here from Andrew Cuomo to Chris Cuomo and now to Jeff Zucker. Zucker was brought in and questioned, and one of the topics was about this relationship with Allison Gullist, the longtime CNN chief communications executive and now chief marketing officer. She has been Zucker's right-hand woman for years. They've been working together dating back to their days together at NBC. And that relationship, which then turned romantic, is at issue here, Jake.
So as I understand it, Brian, first of all, Jeff and Allison are both divorced. And Allison doesn't report to Jeff. She reports to somebody with Warner Media. So the issue here is not necessarily the relationship, but that it wasn't disclosed to CNN's parent company, Warner Media. Do I have that right?
Disclosure does seem to be the key issue here. And Zucker acknowledged that in his statement this morning, saying, quote, as part of the investigation into Cuomo's tenure at CNN, I was asked about a consensual relationship with my closest colleague. I acknowledged the relationship evolved in recent years. Here's the key line. I was required to disclose it when it began, but I didn't. I was wrong. As a result, I am resigning today. Gullist is saying she's intending to stay with CNN. She's also acknowledging, though, in a statement that the relationship changed during COVID and, quote, I regret that we didn't disclose it at the right time. So there's this issue of disclosure, which is spelled out in Warner Media's standards of business conduct. It's something that lots of corporate America firms have, where if you end up in a romantic relationship at work, you need to tell a superior. Of course, we're talking about two of the superiors at CNN here, so they would have had to go up to the top of Warner Media to disclose it, and they're both acknowledging this wasn't disclosed. Now, if there's other shoes that are going to drop here, Jake, maybe there will, maybe there won't. Right now, no other shoes have dropped. For now, this is a story about two people in a consensual relationship who didn't tell management. And because that has all come out in the midst of a Chris Cuomo legal battle, Jeff Zucker resigned effective immediately.
All right, Brian Stelter.
Yeah, I hope you got that popcorn handy because we're pretty sure we know what's really going on and the truth of this resignation and why Zucker's out. It ain't because of a scandal like that weak one that they're trying to cover. Check out the owner.
CNN evolve back to the kind of journalism that it started with and, actually have journalists, which would be unique and refreshing. I think a coward's way out would be to sell it or spin it off and then sell it, do it.
So there you have it. What's really happening is CNN has to make a shift because their revenues are bleeding out, just as if their femoral artery has been cut without any first aid or ability to stop that blood flow. So keep that popcorn handy because this cover story is falling apart and falling apart rapidly.